All right. Oh, I almost forgot something, right? So that's also something to talk about. Maybe in a spiritual way, right? What does it mean to forget? Sometimes I think I forget something, and then I realize that, you can't really forget anything unless maybe you want to. So I have had the chance of experimenting a bit with what it means to forget and what it means to remember. Because when I came here, in this kind of world, right? What's this? When I came here in this kind of world, I had to understand that when I came here, I forgot. And then I was walking my path. And sometimes there were certain people that crossed my path. And because there was a part of me looking for a wife, looking for a woman. And a part of me always wanted to be with somebody. I didn't really know why or how or when. And then when I found that person, it was really scary. And then of course there's a lot of energy, it's like boom, it's right on, right? It feels like you're right at home, this is it, you want to have it. And then suddenly it's gone. And you can't get to it. The only way you could get to it is using the energy of others, which is like their money, their cars. But you understand now that if this woman is it, right? You can't do it like you used to, right? If this is your wife, if this is the woman of your dreams, then what you have to do is you have to do everything in your power to get to her. And that's scary because you are, I'm struggling up the hill. I'm struggling up the fucking mountain for that woman because she's basically the woman of my dreams, right? She is it. And that's as shit as it is good. So I don't see her at all at the moment. I don't know where she is or what she does. She doesn't talk to me anymore. Because maybe she's afraid. Because maybe I've been an asshole too often. All I can do is trust on it that she still loves me. All I can do is trust on it that what I felt was real. And that's a place where you think you want to go, but when you go there, you don't know what to do with it. Because you've never been there. I've never been in that place, in that situation where I loved somebody so much that it hurt. I never was in that place. And I never saw anybody being in that place with me. Everybody always tried to get rid of me. And that's also a reason, right? When you meet somebody, you love that person so much that it hurts. That means you want to be with that person while at the same time you want to get rid of them. And that's how it felt like between us. We really wanted to be together. But we realized we just couldn't. Not at the time. And so we separated. And for a while I really felt like the only thing I could say to her when I would see her, you know, I would have shouted. And maybe you don't want to shout at each other because you actually want to love each other. But sometimes, right, I mean, I needed all this stuff that I was doing here to get back to myself. And she, as she is a part of myself, of course, she's an extension of myself, the very feminine extension of myself. So she's that emotional part. You know, when I'm mad, she'll probably stay away. Well, I can't help that because I'm mad. So, you know, in a way, because I am quite a tough guy, I need a woman that's like really tough as well. Because I need a woman that manages, through her own madness, to love a man that doesn't want to be loved. I don't want to be loved, right? That's one way of saying it. Because a part of me thinks I'm an asshole. So I need people also to prove to me that they really love me. Because I have tried loving for quite a while already. I have tried being in love with other beings. And dogs show you such a place. They show you this is a place in yourself where you can be in love. Because the dog is in love, right? The dog wags its tail. It's like, you know, happily looking up at you. And you're like, what? And then you start loving and hating the dog at the same time. That's what love is. You know, Gollum loves and hates the ring as he loves and hates himself. You know, there's that playful little version of Gollum, and then there's like that guy that kills. So it's like light and shadow, and they are having a conversation. And so sometimes, you know, I'm being my light, sometimes I'm being my shadow, sometimes I'm a bit of light with a bit of shadow, and sometimes I'm a bit of shadow, here, here. Sometimes I'm a bit of shadow with a bit of light. You know, sometimes with a dog I can be quite like playful. But I've also learned to be a bit dangerous, right? Like you can be nice, like really nice, and then you will realize that people will piss on you because they're not so nice. So you have to be a bit dangerous. You have to scare people a bit so they don't piss on you anymore. So you can pretend that other people's piss is your rain, but it's not, it's just piss. So you have to start accepting that. And that means also when you meet the woman of your dreams or whatever of your dreams, you know, that woman may not understand how you feel about her. But you know, I cannot tell her through words what I feel. I can just show her. But if she only wants me to be like, I'm a little, you know, I'm like really loving and I really love you, you know, you're the most beautiful woman alive. You know, that's just fake. And that doesn't last. You know, the way I learned to be is completely honest. So I'm at the stage now where I keep reaching out. She just ignores me. And what can I say to that other than, you know, fuck you? You want to leave me alone now? After we have connected with each other, like our souls have met, and now you're showing me, you know, you're trying to get rid of me? Like seriously? Right? I cannot pretend anymore to be like, oh, it's okay. No, it's not okay, because I fucking hate you for that. As much as I love you, if you're like this, all you can get is my shit. That's how it is. Maybe that's how some people feel about me, right? But that's just how it is, you know? I can tell you I hate you. While at the same time what I'm saying, through the basic principle of duality, I love you. But I cannot say to you, I don't want to say to you I love you anymore. Because it's just pretense. I don't have to say that, I'll just show you. And if you don't understand the way that I love you, because you hate yourself, the only reason why I'm talking to her like this is because she tries to run away from me. And if you believe in such thing as twin souls or twin flames or soulmates, if you try to run away from your soulmate, you're basically screwing yourself. You're saying fuck you to yourself because you don't deserve to be loved, because you are afraid, and because I'm an extension of herself. That's what I'm saying to her. And until she accepts that as much as I scare her, running around is really unsexy. Like running away from the person that you love is really unsexy. And it makes me angry. It makes me really angry. And you know why it makes me angry? It makes me angry because it's dishonest. Because I can see truth better than most people. Because I've been trained to do so. It's my responsibility to see it. And right now my vision is kind of blurry. Because maybe there's a part in myself that I don't want to see. But it doesn't really matter. What matters is, what do you do? I could have kept trying to get to her by stupid means, but I realized no. Until I have the money to buy my own car, until I have the money to get out of here with the energy I have built up until then, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna keep everybody away from me, and I'm going to put myself out there to attract money into my life. That's as selfish as I can be. At the same time, I'm doing community service by saying to you what you don't want to hear. And that's what I do, right? So when I say I know who my wife is, I also know what I have to say to her. Which is, if she runs away from me, I say fuck you. You're not gonna get anything from me in terms of soft love. If you're pretending to be somebody that you're not, if you are pretending to be somebody else's wife, then I say fuck you, see you next time around. And the thing is, that's for me the safest way to find out who truly loves me. And the reason for that is, of course, I've always tried to be really nice in relationships. And for a while that works. But then at some points your nasty bits start showing, and some people don't like that. Some people, when you go into a darker part of the forest, they just start shitting themselves. But now I've realized the way my life turned out to be, which was and wasn't an active choice. But the way my life turned out to be, I need people that are okay in the darkness, with me leading them through it, right? So that's what spiritual advice from a Barbarian Lunatic is. It's me guiding you through the darkest night of the forest or whatever. And that's what you need to do to reconnect with yourself. It's a scary place to be in. Suddenly it's really quiet and you think, where are all these voices gone? And then you realize there weren't any voices in the first place. That was just madness. And you have to go through the madness. You have to go through the darkness to get into the light, because from the darkest parts of yourself, you can better see the light, you know. But if you're clinging to the light because you're afraid of the darkness, you will always live in fear. And, you know, I've realized that I am different than most people because I'm quite strong. You could say I'm a shaman because a shaman is a shadow worker. A shaman uses psychedelic substances to dive into the unknown realms of himself. He sees what most people are too afraid to see. He speaks what other people are afraid to say. He hears what other people are afraid to hear, and he transforms it into light. Now, I would suggest that probably in every 10,000 people, there's one person that might be a shaman. In every 10,000 people. And then amongst those shamans, there's still differences. So I would say in every 50 million people, there's maybe one person that's a shaman to shamans. So there's some people that do some kind of shadow work, but they don't go all the way. And then there's people that are here to go all the way. And some people need a lot of guidance, like Ram Dass needed a guru to guide him. I have been guided by life. I don't have anybody that says to me, do this or do that, right? I don't have anybody to say that to me. So I listen. I listen at all these voices that are talking to me. I listen and I hear so many voices. And these voices are all your voices. And because I hear them, I can say to you things that you need to hear, but you are struggling to hear them. And that's why, yeah, if there's a woman, and I had a vision that she's my wife, you know, why should I sleep with other women still? I've had the vision. She's had it, but she's afraid of it. I have a lot of courage. So I do what I must to be with her. And that's scary because I've never been there, at least not in this life. But I know I can do it because I've done it already, you know. I've seen other people doing it, which means I've done it. So you see me doing it, which shows you, well, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to do it. You can do it, of course you can do it. I can do it, you can do it. If you want to. You have to put in the work. You know, I could play the piano if I really wanted to, but the thing is I don't. You know, I could do lots of things. I could do one video per day for YouTube, but the thing is it's too much. You know, it's overloading. I'm overloading you. You know, you don't shower people with your love. You give them bits of it so that they can learn to find that place in themselves that is love. So that's why Christopher-Reusch.com is a good thing for you to chew on.